Hello, and I'm Jashikins, and welcome to another little first looks video. What these are basically, I see a movie, then I come back home and I tell you what I think. And since I can make this one a two-parter, I am going to. And just a warning, there will be spoilers ahead. So if you haven't seen Spectre, the new James Bond movie starring Daniel Craig, just pause, go see the movie, and come back. No. So, yeah. Anyways, I believe this is Daniel Craig's last film. The majority of what I've heard about him and his connection to James Bond is that he's sort of really lost interest in playing the character. For me, this is a little sad because for me, he's my favorite James Bond. He's the one that actually got me interested to see new James Bond films. I mean, before, I was like, okay, I'll sit and watch it, but I was never at a point where like, oh my god, a new James Bond film has come out. I have to see it. I have to. With Daniel Craig, I was like, oh my god, there's a new James Bond film. I have to see it. And so, on one hand, I'd be really sad if this is his last time as James Bond, because my favorite. But at the same time, this movie seems like a good send-off to Daniel Craig, with the main villain played by Christoph Waltz. Him basically saying, I fucking hate you, and you know why you've suffered so much? I've had ties to every single movie that Daniel Craig has been in. So basically, it's like accumulation of Daniel Craig's run as James Bond into one movie. It's like his journey isn't at an end. So if you look at Spectre as a goodbye, Daniel Craig, you were awesome in the role. Hope you have a great career. We're going to miss you. Then this film is fucking great like that. I mean, even to the point where James Bond leaves MI6. I mean, unless in the next movie they bring him back for some reason. Or if they start a new timeline. I don't know how the James Bond timeline works. As I said, I really only pay attention to Daniel Craig in the role. I know there's been a couple famous ones. Don't worry, I'm aware. But I'm not sure, again, how the timelines, tie up. I do watch the BBC show Sherlock. And as people who've watched my channel for a little bit know that I am also a fan of the show Elementary, and I know that there's like this sort of competition between the two, which I don't get. I like both of them for different reasons. And Andrew Scott, he's played Moriarty on the show. And so when he, came on screen for the first time, I was like, I just had a little fangirl squeal. Because as Moriarty, he's like a big murdering child psychopath, someone who definitely has mental issues and just kills people, but at the same time, you're like, I want to give you a hug. I'm sorry, Andrew Scott plays C, and I think in this time, Andrew Scott does a much better job at actually appearing like a fucking asshole and dangerous. as a real threat, as opposed to him as Moriarty, where that whole childish thing, while it's cute, while it's adorable, while you love it, I can't take you seriously as a villain at the same time. It's like, oh, you're going to try to destroy the world, aren't you cute? But with Scott as C, that was threatening. More threatening than Moriarty, I would say. And also a little spoiler for Sherlock. So let's see. I'll hold up this penguin until I'm done with the spoiler. So if you want to mute it, just go ahead. Anyways, on Sherlock, Moriarty dies by falling off a building. And in this movie, he dies by falling off a building. And I'm like, he got typecast for the weirdest shit. It's like a really specific death to be typecast as. Okay, spoilers over. I'm sorry, I just had to mention that because I have to. That's one of the things I was talking to my dad as we're driving back home. I was like, I have to. Now, this is something that I'm going to have to look into later, and I might have to repeat the viewing a few times, as well as listening to the song and looking over the lyrics, because each James Bond movie, at least a few that I've looked at, the words, the lyrics, words. I'm an English major, I swear. The lyrics sort of hint at little bits and pieces of the movie as a whole, which you can't really tell unless you've seen the movie. And, first time viewing it, you're of course not going to focus too much. You can't focus on everything at once. And so I was looking at the opening sequence, and at first, Craig surrounded by all these women, I was like, nah, but then it got better with the visuals. I liked it. It's just beautiful. But there's one part that some people beside me, they chuckled at. I think they did. I think this is the thing they chuckled at. But anyways, the symbol for Spectre is an octopus. And so there's a lot of octopus incorporated into the opening. And there's one point where one of the women is in sort of an erotic pose with some of the tentacles wrapping around her. And from a purely aesthetical viewpoint, it's like the graphic for the woman and the octopus looks astounding together, but at the same time, I'm like, for those of you in the back who can't read my mind or think like I do, tentacle porn. Like, I just have to hold back from saying anything. I'm like, what the fuck is up with that? And like, it's not something that I could just quickly away, but I'm like, but to me, looking at the opening sequence as a whole with the song included, it was basically Spectre has really infiltrated James Bond's life. And so having the octopus in such an intimate way, I guess makes sense, but still it's like, someone had to have known what someone was going to think when they saw that. I mean, no way can they just go, yeah, this is totally, totally legit. No, nothing's wrong with this. It symbolizes blah 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 tentacle porn. I don't know, maybe that tentacle porn thing was just all me, but uh, did you see that or think that during that opening sequence? And this is going in part 1 of this review. Part 2 you can view right afterwards. I don't know, that uploading times may differ. And so I'm going to leave all that sort of credit stuff until next video. And until next video, goodbye.